coming in of Uddhav Thackeray leaving Varsha. Flower petals galore, all of that. Yes, go ahead, Rahul. Make your point while we play these visuals.
You see, I think I'll make a very quick point here. It is a clash between two men now belonging to the Shiv Sena. One saying this is not about power, this is about Hindutva. The other saying this is not about power, this is about Shiv Sena. I think both of them are trying to create a situation in which there are emotional pulls. Which ones the larger number of Shiv Sena men are going to accept, that is going to perhaps decide the end of this battle and the outcome.
You know, Javed, I'll bring you in on this. Would you think, and Uddhav Thackeray, especially with, you know, what he said during his speech, speaking to the Shiv Senics, talking about the Sangathan, talking about Shiv Sena, it's interesting, you know, at a level, because he seems to be okay right now to give up power or to trade, you know, being in power to protect leadership of his own leadership and the party, which is the Shiv Sena.
Yes, for him, it's you know, now even if the government goes, his priority would be to save his leadership, for him to save the party, to continue as leader of the Shiv Sena, the official group Shiv Sena. He would want to be the leader of that. He's pitching Mr. Shinde's claim of Hindutva against his own appeal of being the natural inheritor of Mr. Thackeray's legacy.
Well, it's interesting. Well, does Eknath Shinde have the numbers? That's the big question, because if Eknath Shinde had the numbers, he would possibly be now in Mumbai with the BJP staking claim. These are visuals, viewers, of Uddhav Thackeray and his family. You can actually see. Let's listen it. Let's dip into the end.
आदित्य शिव सेना की जीत होगी आदित्य शिव सेना की जीत होगी आदित्य भाई आदित्य आदित्य जी आदित्य जी आदित्य जी आदित्य जी साहब यहाँ पे आप देखिए कि शिव सैनिक कुछ यूं निकलते हुए और कुल मिला के जो संदेश देने की तो कोशिश है, काफिला अभी भी रुका हुआ है। उद्धव ठाकरे आगे थे और आदित्य ठाकरे और रश्मि ठाकरे साथ में निकलते हुए मातोश्री के लिए, और इसके साथ ही जो पलटवार किया है एक सियासी रूप से इमोटिव अपील करके और ये भावनात्मक स्टेप लेके, तो उनके पक्ष में समर्थन भी आ गया है।
All right, so you see the cavalcade there of Uddhav Thackeray's family. They are leaving from the Chief Minister's residence, Varsha, all the way to Matoshree. It's interesting how things are going to play out. We're going to leave our viewers with these visuals as they play out. An emotional appeal by Uddhav Thackeray, but has it come too late? And a classic example of that is 1 hour after that appeal, viewers, 1 hour after that appeal, 2 more MLAs from the Shiv Sena defected to the Eknath Shinde camp, and 2 independents are with Eknath Shinde. I want to cut across back. Okay, let's try and dip in. I want to cut. If we have Mr. Nigam back, is he with us? All right, we have Deshratan Nigam, who is still with us right now. Mr. Nigam, you know, we were talking about, you know, Hindutva, but that aside, but ultimately, even the BJP would not want to go in for midterm elections right now. It's not just the NCP or the Congress.
In fact, Preeti, if elections are forced upon the people of Maharashtra, then I believe the BJP will be in the most advantageous position. However, given the fact it requires a lot of time, energy and money, though nobody wants to go in for fresh elections. But however, if it was not about CM-ship, then why did Uddhav Thackeray, you know, leave the BJP alliance in the first place and became the chief minister? That's a moot question to be asked. And if you recall, the Shiv Sena had clearly said that we will share the CM-ship, 2.5 years for Shiv Sena and 2.5 years for BJP. Now 2.5 years for Shiv Sena is over now. So you need to go deep into such kind of, you know, questions and to actually lift the curtain and see the real scene behind the curtain. Now, what is happening today?
2.5 years, because, you know, that rotational CM-ship wasn't given to Uddhav, made him leave the alliance with the BJP. His 2.5 years is over. It's time, as what Ms. Nigam says, of Devendra Fadnavis to come back, who always has felt that power was snatched away from him because the mandate belonged to the Sena and the BJP.
Yes, obviously, it's a hostile alliance that we have in the form of MVA today.
Right.
And Shiv Sena is actually suffering at the ground level because they can't take the stand on Hindutva very clearly. Whether it is Hanuman Chalisa, they are in contradiction with the popular sentiment of their own voters and supporters.
I'll just bring in Rahul Srivastav as well, our National Affairs Editor, to take that question. Rahul, would you want to answer that question?
Vijay, what Mr. Shada was saying was not very clear. Can you please repeat it?
Rahul, that we were talking about is that no party would really at this point of time want mid-term election, be it the BJP, the NCP, Congress or the Sena.
Preeti, actually, there is a valid point in that. The NCP does not want elections at this moment, and that is the reason why Mr. Sharad Pawar went and met Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, and perhaps might be tying his hands. And I think that could well be a deciding factor in what the NCP Deputy Speaker does if the push comes to shove. The second very important element, Congress does not want an election quickly, primarily because the Congress may lose a lot of ground. The BJP definitely is ready for a situation in which, if nothing else, it will like to have a clear, clean position in which it can go into elections under President's rule, because the BJP feels at this moment, if Mr. Uddhav Thackeray loses that Hindutva plank that was built by Mr. Bal Thackeray, then the BJP, which used to be playing second fiddle to the Shiv Sena at one time, but now is number one as far as the Hindutva template is concerned, the BJP stands to benefit. Top leaders are saying, if it is elections, then we are prepared for it, and we may come back. The BJP says we may come back with our own majority.